Well, hi everybody. We're back for painting up the monster manual. This is episode 59, and we're at a crucible, a crossroads, a junction in our streaming. So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna paint up an Allosaurus today, as we chat about Dungeons and Dragons and we talk about all things Dragonborn Industries and Warrior Prince 3D. But how is everybody out there doing? And how are you, Richard?
I am as well as can be on this somewhat sunny day.
On this somewhat sunny day. I'm just sorting out the volume of my speakers in this room because they're a whittle loud. There we go.
A whittle loud.
A whittle loud. And while I do that, why don't you tell everybody who you are and where people can find you?
So I'm me. I am Richard. I am Warrior Prince 3D. I am your one-stop shop for all your 3D printing needs, from your wee little tabletop to your collectibles, to statues, to cosplay pieces, to terrain, to Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
So anything I can get on a printer that you might want to, print. You can find me on Etsy, Instagram, Facebook, over here with Dragonborn Industries, around the street corner in a couple of shops, and generally on the internet being
There you go. There it is. I just want to say big shout out, thank you, because we've now just hit 200 followers on Twitch, which is fucking awesome. That literally happened before we went live. So big shout out, thank you for that one. Please go check out Warrior Prince 3D. They have been working with us since we basically started streaming, and Richard's been printing stuff for me for ages. And I print stuff, and I still go to him to print me stuff because I ran out of time and he's just better at it. And speaking of printing stuff, this is what Richard has printed for us this week. This is the Allosaurus, and I actually had a question on Instagram before we started, Richard. Where's this print from?
Ian, is a very good question, and something I should have been thusly prepared with before stream.
Something I probably could have remembered until this very moment and told you.
Please bear with me.
That's all right. But it's fucking cool. So we hadn't done the dinosaurs for the past 2 weeks because we just were like, they were sat on my table and I was just like, ugh, dinosaurs. But then when I got it primed up, I saw all the fucking details, like all the hide on this. And actually, it's pretty fucking cool. And I think I know how I'm going to paint this up. It's going to be a lot of dry brushing with Gongfang Brown to bring out the lightness of the red. And then coming in with some speed paints and stuff to change it all up. But that's pretty much is where I'm going to go. Apparently you're very quiet today, which is probably me again. So
I move the mic like that. So if everyone can hear me, so this sculpt is from, let me just get my whole...
Is that Yarrow Studios?
From YD Studios.
YD.
I have just sent you the link. Now they do a lot of particularly beautiful animals. A lot of dinosaurs, a lot of D&D bits and pieces. Very impressed by the sculpts, but it is a one thing to warn you folks out there, they are unsupported, so it is a case of if you get them, you're going to have to support them yourself. Cost of the files are very, very reasonable. They are basically a couple of quid a piece, but you can get things, like I said, raptors, there's a really cool bulldog on there, there's a chupacabra, you've got sharks, dolphins, strange sphinx cat, and all sorts of other bits and pieces on there. They are well worth a check out. Yeah,
very, very much so. And yeah, the fact that you went out of your way to, again, find these because we were doing this show was like awesome. Like, you were like, cool, I'm going to go look for them. Found this, found the next one, which would be the Ankylosaur, which was really, really awesome, and then got them sent out to me, and they were just perfect. But do you know how you're going to paint yours up? Because I've gone with the classic 2014 D&D look with the reds.
Well, I looked at it was a weird one, and it was like purples, and so the Allosaurus is like, it must be obviously the 2024 colouring. It's purple and a weird sort of, not quite a sickly colour, but definitely a different one. But I do quite like that orange and red though.
Yeah, I
ain't got the foggiest. I've got the airbrush attached.
Oh, nice.
But we'll see what goes what with where.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see how it goes, because I'm actually using, for the first time on painting up the monster manual, the 2024 monster manual, and this is why I said we are at a crossroads and a crucible, maybe, which I know crucible is like building of something new, and this is page 348. Now, the 2014 Legacy Monster Manual obviously everything was in alphabetical category order. So we had aberrations, we had angels, we had celestials, we had demons, then dinosaurs. So they've changed how it's ordered in this particular one, which means they've gone to full alphabetical order throughout the entire thing. So some of the things we've already done are way further back, like this is now right at the back of the monster manual, and other things we haven't done, like the air elemental, are the second monster in the book. And obviously there's also a rules change that's happening with Dungeons & Dragons as we move into what is essentially 6th edition with 2024, and how the monsters are created, how their stat blocks work. It's not a massive difference, it's still quite 5e adjacent, but it is means that we do have to kind of either decide whether or not we are going to fully convert to 2024, we're going to stick to 2014 D&D 5e, whether we just go to a regular painting show, because we also realised that 59 episodes in to then do a rules change was a little bit disheartening. And it's probably one of the reasons I was like, oh, I'm just going to wait for the new monster manual, I'm going to read it, because I was putting it off for a little while. And unfortunately on YouTube, it's not the most watched show for us as Dragonborn Industries. So I'm trying to work out whether we carry on in this format as it is, whether we just dial it back a little bit and we go to a regular paint show on a Thursday and we put Painting Up the Monster Manual on hiatus, or, you know, it's all up for discussion. And we didn't want to just have that discussion in private. We wanted to chat to you guys in chat. And if you're watching on YouTube, comment and be like, no, I fucking love this show. Or if it does go on hiatus, maybe you're watching it back in a year's time and you know, if it's got the views and people are like, hey, bring it back, then we, you know, would also consider it. But it's one of those things where we had to think about it as a business, both Richard and I, and be like, well, what's viable? Is it a thing that's working for us? Is the streaming times all the same? Or do we take it to a nice chilled stream on a Thursday afternoon where we get to interact with you? So one of the other things that we're going to do is we're not going to do a combat today. We're just going to talk about the stat block, we're going to paint the monster, and we're going to hang out with you guys in chat and just take it nice and easy. So yeah, I guess it's a case that let us know what you think. I know that chat, there's a few of you in there, so yeah, Counseling DM, it is the new monster manual, and yeah, like I say, we've been painting through the legacy one, and now obviously with the change, it's like, are we shooting ourselves in the foot by changing or by not changing, or going with it or not going with it, and working out as a content creator and as Richard, who's a 3D printing business, what's viable. Dibs, it can still be Painting Up the Monster Manual, but do it your own order rather than from either of the books. Yeah, potentially as well. I guess we'll just see how it goes with that one, because it is a case that like the order is changing, and although we've done these 58 so far, we could bring it back and forth between it. What I will do, Richard, is I will start our 1 hour timer, because we still have an hour to paint the mini, and we will go from there while I talk to people and while we chat and stuff. So, are you ready?
Go, 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 go.
Let's go. So I'm going to start with the Gongfang Brown, and I'm going to dry brush the shit out of this dinosaur. Geeky Phoenix, maybe expanding into other systems. Maybe, that would be really cool, but then it's, I'd say it's about finding the minis, but Richard has done nothing but find me minis, which has been freaking awesome, so it's possible. It'd be interesting to jump into other systems and do, like, tasters of, like, what their stat blocks could be and stuff like that. Kazian, people still use the 2014 manual. You've done 59 eps. I am people. Ah, good. I like I am people. We like people. People good. I think, yeah, and for me it's like 59 episodes. It's been, even if it were to end, or to go on hiatus even, for me 59 episodes has been one hell of a ride. It's nothing to sniff at, but
Well, over a year worth of content, so...
Yeah, exactly. But what I don't want to do is, if people are like, no, I fucking love this show, I don't want to take it away from them. You know, it's just looking at things like numbers and at things as content creators and as a 3D printing business and stuff, and the time that we put in, and also the time of day that we stream. So, Professor Rosewin, I know Pathfinder 2e has some cool monster designs, they fucking do. They have some real cool monster designs. I have been diving into the Monster Core rulebook of Pathfinder 2e this week, and it's been really fun. Especially since, you know, I run a Paizo stream with Starfinder. So, and then it's a case of, like, I think with Pathfinder you can get a lot of the minis, they're probably around, especially for 1E. But for Starfinder, it's a lot harder to find them, and I have to either have them custom made or go from there. So the gong fan going over that red is subtle, but we get those oranges underneath, which is what I'm after for this particular dino. A member poll for evening paint up as well. Yeah, and then it comes down to time, because then, you know, we've both got kids, we've both got families, and, you know, Dragonborn Industries is already running several streams. Richard is potentially taking part in a Pathfinder stream. Is it coming back? Yeah.
It was due back February, mate, so, you know, it's...
Yeah, and then where we can, we stream with Dragon Skull on a Saturdays. So it's kind of like balancing what's viable for us as humans while keeping spaces free, especially for me, for other members of the cast that want to run content as well. So that's interesting. And yeah, welcome to the stream, Professor Rosewin. Dibs, I do love this show, but it is better with you both interacting with us, making it more special, social stream, rather than a look what I'm doing kind of stream. Yeah, and I much prefer that. I really, really do. And actually, that reminds me, is we are doing a D&D show right now, so I'm going to quickly chat about the stat block of this creature in the 2024 Monster Manual. So it's on page 348. It's the Allosaurus. It classes under animals and a large beast. When we look at the big three, and this is where, as we breach across into the new system, I'm hoping the balance is still the same. But until I've played some more games of 2024 with this, because even the podcast that we do uses the 5e Monster Manual, because this is only just released. So when we look at the big three, which I call AC, HP, and its damage dealing abilities, that pyramid of what I think makes the balance and the CR correct of a creature, its AC is 13. So for a CR2 creature, that's okay. It's got tough hide, you know, level 2, you're probably going to be hitting an AC of 13 quite easily, maybe like 75-50% chance. Then it's got 51 hit points. That's a lot for a creature at CR2, and that's only rules as written. Otherwise, it's 60-10 plus 18. So for a total of potentially 78, if you've only got a party of 4 and only one of those is a damage dealer, that's, you know, it's going to take you a while to take this thing out. This thing is a defensive tank. However, it only has one action, which is its bite or its claws, outside of its movement action, of course, as well. But you get bite, which is a +6 to hit, so it's not bad. It's reach of 5 foot, but it's got 2d10 plus 4. So actually, its hit points and its bite, pretty big. Then its melee attack, which is its claws, it's slashing damage for 1d8 plus 4. So it's a little bit less on the claws, but if that bite hits you for 2d10 or for a crit, you could potentially be getting 40 damage off a bite. So its damage potential is even higher than its tank potential, which is absolutely insane. As for the rest of the stat block, its strength is a 19 with +4s in that. Intelligence -4, its charisma's -3, Dex, Wisdom are both +1s, and its Constitution is a +3. So strength and Constitution really, you know, show you as well that it is an attacking tank. It's all about having that slightly lowered AC with that 13 and really trying to get in there for it. But a party of 4 level 2s, I think that's a boss fight. It's not going to be a long boss fight if you can get the damage on, you can get the dice rolls with you. But yeah. As for dinosaurs, have you used dinosaurs in a campaign, Richard?
No, I don't like dinosaurs.
Neither do I! It's just not for me!
It really isn't for me, and it's like that age-old, so, like, my big rule of druids is you can only shift into something if you've met it, or polymorph and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't like this idea of, oh, I'll polymorph into a T-Rex.
Yeah. Exactly. So Professor says, yeah, I used to be a D&D player, but I always had issues with it from the start and kind of got tired of my friends making every genre into D&D. Yep. Like now, if I want to play a political horror game, why not Vampire the Masquerade instead? Yeah, exactly. And I think it's been interesting playing a Vampire D&D game on a Thursday night because, yeah, it's a slightly different setting and it's a third-party thing and it's been quite gory and stuff. But it's definitely still D&D. And now obviously I play a lot of Starfinder because I run those streams, and I'm looking at Pathfinder as well now, and I do much prefer Pathfinder 2e. Kettle's on for anyone? Oh, dibs, I'd love a cuppa. Got a big old set of chompers on it. It does! So the Allosaurus has got a big old, that 2d10 worth of chompers, and I need to work out. I'm going to grab a red for the top of it, but I need it to be a... So in the picture, it's quite... I think it's like a pinkish red over a deep red. So I don't know how that's going to work with my... current primer being that red Doom Ball. Nom nom. The counselling... Oh, sorry, Professor Wizard talking to the counselling DM. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to read out all of those ones. Hey, mate, when I get my Magic the Booster, do you want to open it here on the channel? Not sure. We'll talk about that away from this one when it comes to unboxings and stuff. How you doing, Connor? Good to see you here. Geeky Phoenix, consider it done painting up the Monster Manual mug or Warhammer. Oh, nice. Songlair, where is this gorgeous Allo Mini from? Songlair. Richard, where is it from again?
Alt tab, 2 seconds. This is from YD Studio. I bought this from myminifactory.com. YD Studio, very, very beautiful sculpts.
I'll try and put the link in chat.
Yeah, I did have to support it myself and tweak the scale slightly to work with what was needed, but again, incredible sculpts, very beautiful models, lots of nice sort of selection on there of things. Well worth a check out for any sort of D&D mini aficionado, shall we say.
The link is in chat now.
Especially because I had quite a hard time finding a dinosaur, considering it's a fucking dinosaur and people should fucking love them.
Yeah, I thought that was weird as well. I was like, I don't have any dinosaur minis. And I was like, oh yeah, because I don't fucking use dinosaurs. And then I obviously went to you and you were like, oh yeah, I don't either. So...
I didn't have any fucking dinosaurs.
Thank you very much for the link. No worries, counselling. So what's everybody up to today? Dragon Skull, hello. Welcome in as we talk about painting up the Monster Manual, its future, here on the show. And particularly... dinosaurs, which is quite funny because we were saying about like having the midday stream and it's nice having the regulars and maybe sitting down and chatting to them, but actually people aren't normally here for the monsters, and yet today everyone's like, where's this monster from? Maybe we just don't know what's good for us.
Maybe we just don't fucking know anything.
Yeah, I think that's probably more likely. It's yeah, I think I don't know. Oh, that's actually quite a nice fade. So, I don't know if that will show up. Actually, it's not going to, really. I've used a Wyvern Red.
That looks good.
Yeah, Wyvern Red for the top and Gongfang for the bottom. I'm just going to try and blend those two together. And then I might re-hit it with a Gongfang again on top, or maybe a contrasting colour to give it that natural dino camouflage. Although, did you ever play Dino Crisis?
Yes.
So
I never completed it though because it was I was more about the Resi Evil at the time.
So I loved it because it was Resi Evil basically, but with dinosaurs. And although the dinosaurs didn't overly do it for me, and I was less scared of them than I was the zombies, I did like the playthrough of the game and just basically having like a submachine gun and taking out the fucking dinos. And I remember an Allosaurus being one of them, and I remember it being grey, which is what I was originally going to go with for this particular monster. And then I read the monster manual and was like, oh, it's red. I will go with red. There it is. Dragon School. What's the future? So we were talking about this particular show in general and how we kind of put off the dinosaurs for 2 or so weeks because with the rules change coming in, with going to a new monster manual, we wanted to get hold of the monster manual first, we wanted to read up on the rules, and then also go, is it worth doing the combats anymore? It's a lot nicer to sit here and chat with you all, rather than just worry about the combat and go in, and to be honest, it was all a bit too much for me. So, it's also a case of like, it was a bit disheartening with the rules change to go, oh fucking hell, they've changed the order of things in the monster manual to go from categories to literal alphabetical order, which means that this is on like page 348 of the new one, but the air elemental, which we haven't covered yet, is on page 2. And it's like, oh, fucking hell, do we go back and like redo all the ones that we missed then? Or do we just carry on with the order from now? So the next week would be the air elemental, or next week would be that, or do we carry on with 5e? I think we should move into 2024 if we're gonna carry on, or do we just go back to painting stuff up on a Thursday afternoon with no time constraint? Just go, look, we've got an hour and a half, let's chill out, let's paint with you guys and hang out. And it's a case of like, we didn't just want to make that decision behind the scenes, we wanted to ask you guys what you think as well, because we want to hang out with you. We want to, this is it. We want to show off Richard's prints and we want to sit here and paint with you. So the show itself it does okay on YouTube. So some episodes get rewatched quite a bit, other episodes don't get rewatched at all. So for me as a content creator, it's not up there as one of our top shows. So my energy levels for it at the moment are like, whatever. You know, I like doing it when we're doing it, but sometimes it's a bit of a ball ache to get to it. And I imagine for Richard as well, it's probably not the most profit-generating thing for his business either. So where do we draw the line? Do we rip a Band-Aid off and end it? Or do we, you know, change its format? How do we go about that? What would you like to see? Shall we just paint minis with you guys? Should we just grab whatever we've got that needs doing? Because we've both got a stack of minis that need painting. We've got loads of them. Or do you want to keep it to just D&D content? Do you want to see us go through the monster manual still? That's kind of where I'm at. What about you, Richard?
Yeah, to be honest, it is a case of what is going to work, what is going to be beneficial for us both, what is going to be beneficial for the audience. Because at the end of the day, if you're just going to see two monkeys, you know, painting bloody models that we don't want to see, what's the point?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Is like I think maybe some of the painting up the monster manual content has direction in terms of like maybe it's got rewatchability if you're looking for a monster and you're like, oh, I don't know how it works, and you know of this show on YouTube, maybe you go back and watch something. But I don't think people are searching up the show and going, I specifically want to see this monster being painted by two guys in an hour. So I don't know. That's sort of where I'm at. And yeah, I need to grab some bone colour and go in over the base before I use some speed paints. I'm stuck on my current project as I'm waiting for some models from that Warrior Prince 3D bloke. So I'm building some old metal Warhammer troll things. Nice one, Dibs. Dragonborn says, you know me, I just like the chill hangout vibe. Yeah, me too. And like that's the other thing as well, is like looking at like, we stream during the day on a Thursday. We both have kids, we both have things that we need to get done. And although that works for us, as for viewership, can we really push this to an evening slot? We don't know, because we have kids and a family and they have swimming lessons and they want to see dad. You know, I'm already running one stream every Monday evening, one every Thursday, every other Thursday, then trying to be there for you, Craig, on a Saturday evening as well. I don't know how much more I can put into other nights without taking that away from my kiddie winks and my wife. Especially if my wife ends up working away with the job that she does, I'm then restricted even more. So it's contemplating these things for us all. So how's your dino going?
I was going to airbrush, but I thought,
nah, fuck it.
And I'll dry brush to shit.
See, that could be the new name of the show. Oh, bollocks to it.
Yeah. And now I'm just dry brushing the base, and then I'm going to put a bit of speed paint on the base, and I'm probably going to call it done.
Nice. That's awesome. So, and that's the other thing, is like, we're not, like, Richard's a much better painter than I am, but like, we're not the world's best painter. We're not going after a golden demon. We're not here to like, teach you how to be the world's greatest painter. We kind of just want to show you that you can sling some paint. You can probably do it, if you can do a mini in an hour, excellent. If not, we're just going to take some time, maybe talk about some techniques, like the fact that Richard's been dry brushing, and so have I, and I've gone for a bone colour over the entire base, and then I'm going to swap some speed paints all over that. Yeah. So, Dibs, the most beneficial part for this, for me, is the company it provides while I'm working. And actually, I 100% agree with you. That's the bit that I missed the most. When we were doing the combat and stuff, I was like trying to keep an eye on chat. I was trying to keep keep Richard engaged while also like having to like ad lib stuff each week. Like, I can do that, but I think it has to be one or the other. And actually, I found a real upswing in my mental health chatting to you guys the other week when I was on here just chatting to you and chilling out during the Spined Devil, maybe it was. And I was like...
Yeah, when I was... I couldn't make it.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, this is what I've missed. This is what we were doing. And we've like had these ideas and we've moved on to the next thing and then, oh shit, you know what? Back to the roots. And yeah, so for me, I'm very much like, I'd like to get back to this format where I'm like just relaxed painting and just chatting to you guys. Whether that means we carry on doing it with D&D monsters or not, I don't know. But I think the other side of that coin is if we did it with D&D monsters, do we need to really focus in and be like, that was the point of the show? Or now should we just go to any minis we've got left and be like, let's hang out for an hour and chat and paint and we'll talk about those minis rather than the system? I don't know. My phone's going off. I'm going to just cancel that. Yeah, so I don't know. Geeky Phoenix, how about hosting one of the Dragonborn Industries crew for a paint and chill evening? Again, that would be very awesome. We certainly have ideas that we want to do that. Same with like the unboxings and stuff. And that's the other side of things that I'm trying to do, especially with the Starfinder crew, is I'm trying to bring it back to just the core of us, because we've recently found that we've been expanding out into doing other things with the live shows and with several different things. But like, it's becoming a bit much and there's a lot of content on the channel. But then there's so many different people, and there's a lot of confusion when people chatting on social medias. They're like, I don't understand what's going on, and I'm like, okay, so I need to like bring it back in. And I know that with membership stuff, as we look to membership on YouTube, I'm like, okay, so what do we give for the tiers? And something I really liked the other night that we did, Geeky, was after we leveled up, I announced the level up, we closed the recording down for YouTube, and then we carried on the stream where we talked about the level up and we just hung out in chat and we actually engaged with chat a little bit. And actually, I really liked that. I really like having maybe that like 10-minute video, and after each session having like a cool down where we talk about the episode or we talk about things, but it's only for Twitch followers or for YouTube members. And I think that's what we're gonna do. But I need to chat to those guys, but I also need to like bring it back into just the core, because as money starts coming in, I do want to make sure that it is the core. And so it's, yeah, you know, there's not much. I don't want to spread it far and wide. I want to give it to the guys that are like my main cast. And yeah, and then it comes to things like, you know, buying minis from Richard and stuff like that. And yeah, it's, there's so much to think about at the moment that I'm like, something needs readdressing. Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed that extra bit. Yeah, I really liked it too. I do need, so I'm going to try and grab a purple for the tongue. What colour are you doing the eyes and stuff?
So I'm probably going to go yellow eyes.
You're going to do that, the slit pupil?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I say yeah, I'm going to fucking try, yeah?
You can do it. See, this is where I do want the airbrush though, to add the shading that I like to do and like do the blending of the dark browns, inks and stuff on the underside of the legs and the hide. Alright, I do need that bone back for the teeth. So what's everybody else up to out there today? Dibs, I'm going to assume... I know you already told us, Dibs, didn't you? You're stuck on your current project as you're waiting for some models from that Warrior Prince 3D bloke. So you're building some metal Warhammer Troll things. I remember. What about the rest of you? What you up to? So I'm going to grab these teeth. Just come along them with a brush. And I'm just using like a long bristle brush to just grab the outsides of those teeth. And then I'll probably use some skeleton horde on them later. Once they've dried. Painting my Tyrannid army finally. Nice, what colour schemes? I like Tyrannids. I really like seeing them in like really vibrant colours, but I don't have the balls to do it myself, nor the army to do it myself. And I suppose that's the other thing, is like, do we eventually hit that 40k market and start painting Warhammer?
No.
Yeah. Because part of me's like, oh, well, that's what gets numbers. But I'm like, it's not about the numbers. I just want to paint things I want to paint. Okay. Gonna grab the ribs on that skeletal body down there. Catching up on paperwork, very boring, I know. Yes, Leviathan Basic, nice. Purples. Warhammer is a slippery slope. Yeah, it really is. And I've got like a Tau Combat Patrol over there from when Alex and I did the 2 Guys 1 Cup show. But I just haven't done anything with it since, nor does it get used whatsoever. I think there are some Necromunda minis that I used for Starfinder, but I don't need any more of them, so there's no point to me buying any more. Whereas things like D&D minis and Starfinder stuff and maps and terrain definitely has its place here in the studio. As for, let's see what's happened next. Shall I get you all excited at Dragonborn Industries? I had my pledge manager through for the Legacy of Kain comic and extras, and I'm very tempted to add the Soul Reaver sword into my pledge. That's fucking awesome. Do it. Do it now. Do it for Kain. So I'm picking out the highlights of the skull that's on this base as well, because I want to hit it with some contrast and speed paints, but they're going to do the most of the work, but I need the highlights to show through. How goes yours?
Trying to find my airbrush.
Oh, really? Is that the Turbo Dirk one?
What?
Is that the Turbo Dork one?
Yeah.
What did you do with it?
You know what? Right now, I ain't got a fucking clue. I don't know how it's disappeared, considering obviously I've only got the paint station.
Counting down. Do it! Dragon School show concept. Write down the minis that you both have to paint and do a random draw each week to paint one while chatting. See, that could work.
Except I'll be here for a fucking lifetime for the 4,000 minis that got fucking printed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the problem is every week I'll have new ones.
Yeah. I love that yours would be like massive as well. Some of yours are fucking statues.
Yeah, I didn't get Doom Guy built in time today.
Right, so let's grab some iron and yellow. Yeah, hopefully with the shows that we're currently doing, we can put more of a push on that. Well, not a push, just put out some of that membership stuff. We're not going to put out like tons. We're not like, you can only, like, we don't want to be behind a paywall. That's the other thing. Is, especially podcasting. Podcasting should be free. You should be able to listen to a podcast and not fucking pay. So I think we're just going to put out the extra content. I want to do like silly videos as well, where we like hang, like we've got the core hanging out in the studio, and we're doing stupid board games and fucking horrid challenges we've seen on social medias and stuff, and maybe put those out as different shows. I don't know. We've got ideas, but it's kind of turning it into like the platform and also the channel, while also working out who's where and doing what.
Food for thought.
Yeah, it's all happening as we grow slightly. Right, I'm going to grab some black and I'm going to go in on the claws. So tempted. The joys of being an responsible adult. I need an adult.
Need an adult here, adult.
You know, I'm really not the person to talk to about like restraint when it comes to spending money. I'm fucking awful here. I'm just like, I really want that. Uh-oh, guess I'm not eating. So I'm trying to be good, and I don't want to be like, just fucking do it. But like, I do have that mentality of, well, you come into the world with nothing. If you go at Owen, you make a profit. And that's not a healthy way to live, and I shouldn't lead people down that road. Trying to be good. Okay. So, how goes the playthrough of Baldur's Gate counselling? Okay, so far, that's where I'm at. We've got those reds to oranges.
Doesn't it look pretty?
It looks like a frickin' dinosaur. Got the black on the claws. I need to get all over that base with bits. But I'm going to grab a slightly bigger brush. I'm actually going to rim the base now. Oh, look at that. You've gone really down the purple lines. That's awesome. So, I'm trying to be good, but people keep wanting to fight me. I just visited the Githyanki Crash. So I haven't played through Baldur's Gate. I just haven't had time. And Richard, have you played it?
Some of it. The Githyanki Crash is not the best place to be.
Because I know that you do a lot of the statues, obviously with Asterion and with all of them.
All of them.
All of them, and your car-like paint job is fucking incredible. Like, I found about an hour last night and the night before to finally play some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth again. I've been playing it for a fucking couple of months. I'm like, oh god, I just want to finish it. I love this game, but finding time to actually video game.
Completely changed the gameplay, didn't they?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I always take games like this, like remasters and stuff, and obviously, like, this has been reworked, and they're changing the story and the timelines and stuff. So it's like a nostalgic nod to the original 7. It keeps the theme of the story and what you think is the main story, and then you're like, wait a minute, whoa, holy shit, and they're like reworking different things in to make it work, and you're like, oh my god, where's the twist coming? Ah! So that for me is the suspension. It's like, you know that something's different, you know that things have changed, and I'm all for it. So I managed to get to old Matt Mercer last night, got to old Vincent Valentine.
Oh yeah?
So I was very much a fanboy, and I got to run around as Kate Sif, who's one of my absolute faves.
Always the good people.
Yeah.
I am... Volkman's actually just released a Tifa model.
Oh, nice. Tifa's a fan favourite, and I wonder why. Casting DM says, there's left Githyanki in my world now. I'm assuming the Crash is just a horde of fighting. Connor says, I'm good with the remake. Old one had too much reading for my dyslexic mind. Yeah, I get that. As an old, like, I grew up playing Final Fantasy with dyspraxia, and I was like, reread that line again, reread that line again. Are you buying the Final Fantasy MTG set? I don't know, because so my kids just got into Magic the Gathering, which is fine. I've put it off for a long time, and a friend came over, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll build a command deck, and I built a control command deck, which kicks ass out of his scraps, and but I don't want to dive into it again, because I'm just like, first of all, 150 quid for a commander set, just because it's Final Fantasy, and they've got their own TCG. I've got the Final Fantasy TCG. Some of it anyway, but like, you don't need that in Magic the Gathering, but, you know, licenses and spending money. Yeah, so I don't know. I probably won't, because it's just going to cost so much, and I'm just like, I don't think I'm going to dive into Magic the Gathering, and, you know, I've got my deck to play my kid, and that's probably all it will ever get used for, because it's... I much prefer Star Wars Unlimited. I very much... That game for me was, like, awesome. So I'm probably going to dive down that route a bit more than anything else. But then it's time to play, because between the channel, like, we've still got content we need to create. Like, we've got so much that we're still in the middle of. We've got stuff that we still need to do. We've got an entire set of Maladam from Battle Systems, which we're supposed to be doing a short series on. But the problem is we played some test games and we were like, oh my god, this is so complex, that we again went, we kind of don't want to do this. So we're going to try and work out a way of doing this is how you set it up, this is how you play the first scenario to give you the rules. That's all we're going to do. And then... Yeah, because it was so much. We were like, we cannot run an entire campaign. This will be another long-running campaign. And we're already trying to, like, bring it back a bit so that, like... Because we know that Bloodpunk's a level, supposedly, 1 to 7 campaign. But Starfinder... Obviously, as soon as this campaign's over, we're going straight into 2E with Campaign 2, and that is the flagship show, and that takes up so much of my time. So, it's about picking our battles and our content carefully, and also having the time to do it, while also trying to parent, make dice, do all of the other things. Oh, life's hard, isn't it? You know what? I'm really sorry, chat. I'm sat here just fucking whinging. It's not meant to be about that. Let's have a fucking good time. I was going to say there's already a TCG for Final Fantasy. Yeah, counselling. There really is. And it's great. It's fucking awesome. 70 for the standard deck, mate. 150 for the collector's edition. Yeah, still 70 quid for a deck. That's a booster brick. Why would I just think it's nuts. I'm basically going to wait to buy the cards individually. Yeah, fair enough, counselling. And that's a good idea. Yeah. So I'm going to take Agros Dunes, and that is going to go all over this base. And I'm hoping, because I don't use speed paints very often, that I can push that around and give it a sandy, muddy look with that deep red primer and then the bone-coloured dry brush. We are, however, it is officially happening, going to the UK Games Expo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we got the hotel booked, well, I say the hotel, the Airbnb booked the other day. Finally managed to confirm it. Dragonborn Industries and its core cast will be there. We're going to go... Yeah, we're going to go as punters. We're going to walk the floor. We're going to take our lanyards with us. So if you spot any of us there, give us a shout out and we'll hand you some lanyards and stickers. And we're going to just go talk to people and other companies and stuff and do the whole schmooze thing, I guess, while also taking in everything that's there. Is anybody else going to UK Games Expo? Richard, dibs.
I'd be a UK Games Expo.
Yeah! He's going to be a UK...
Running around, having a bit of a giggle and seeing some folk.
I can't wait to hang out with you again. Like, I said to Dibs the other day, I'm going to wait until, like... Because I'm going to be running around with Dragonborn Industries, but every time I see you, I'm going to hide behind a stand or something and just start shouting your name so you don't know where I am. I'm going to rogue you guys all fucking day long.
We shall see.
And you're going to get properly irritated.
The people there aren't going to be irritated regardless, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm putting myself in like a situation with thousands of people. The guy with PTSD who doesn't leave the house, but it's Birmingham. It's far away from here. It should be okay. I might go. Not sure yet. Says Dibs. Geeky Phoenix, our moderator, is also going, and we're fucking hanging out. I know that Meredith and Greg from Turbo Dork are coming over as well, aren't they?
Yep.
So we're going to be hanging out with those. Midnight Tower, our friends Eric and Toby are going to be there. They've got a stand, and I think there's going to be some Dragonborn Industries stuff and a few things on their stand as well. So you might see us in several capacities.
Fortunately, you won't see any Warrior print stock there as of yet because it was £1,800 to buy a table.
It was a lot. Oh, Counselling DM, you going as well? That's awesome. Fucking find me and I'll throw lanyards at you. Because when we go to these events, we just hand out free shit. So, yeah, I bought like 500 the other week so that we could fucking just take loads with us and be like, here's a lanyard, here's your lanyard. And that's basically our business card. And that'd be awesome to be able to hand stuff out to you guys. The Fallout ones were 50 quid, which I thought was still expensive. Yeah, it's just too much. It's way too much. I will find you. Well, not if I find you first. If I'm shouting names out across the halls, I'll be in like pure ADHD mode and like high energy mode all fucking day, and then Sunday I'll be like that. I want to go home, please. I want to go home.
Glary Sasquatch mode, and the problem is I can be seen from 50 feet away, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we now have that Agras Dunes on there. Obviously, we've still got quite a bit of red showing, but I'm going to use, once that's dried, some Seraphim Sepia and some, I think it's called Fugan Orange, to go in and get some different areas done. But I'm also going to use that Fugan Orange now in things like the underside of the legs and stuff like that. So I realised the music stopped playing.
Currently giving it a good rimming.
I've already given mine a good rim. Already done it. Oh no, Fluffy Catpoof, shout if you need help carrying him back to the car. Yeah, because also moderator Fluffy's going to be there, who's my wife. And I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. I really, really am. And it was really awesome because it was actually our cast members who really went above and beyond trying to find somewhere for us to stay. And yeah, it was fucking very rewarding when it came back, because everywhere kept cancelling on us, which was a fucking ball ache. But now it's all set in writing. So I'm taking that Fugan Orange and I'm coming in underneath the armpits, underneath the leg joints, across the bottom of that belly, just to add a little bit. Not going too far, because I'm also going to like water it back down and blend it back in. I really don't want it to be too heavy, but just enough that we've got that third area of shadow. So we've got the reds through to the oranges and then through to what should hopefully be a shaded area. Probably do some on the underside of some of these legs. Feet. I think I'm definitely in and around tabletop ready. How are you doing?
Just doing the eyes, and I am tabletop ready.
Nice. I need to put the pupils onto the eyes, but I'm just letting them dry first. Let's grab a really thin brush and our black. So, and to anybody watching who is here on Twitch, if you're not already following, please hit the follow button. We just hit the 200 followers, which is, thank you so much. That was the next goal for us. So now we'll go and do that affiliate push, partner push for the 300. And if you're, if you fancy going across to YouTube and clicking subscribe, please do. If you're watching it on YouTube, please hit subscribe, because again, we're trying to push for the 1,000. Because when we get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we will be giving away that Diggy Diggy Hole dice, that one of a kind, no more going out into the world dice. You still got your other one up there. So it's not this dice. Richard got
not this one, 'cause this one's mine, you fuckers.
So Richard got a different variant of the dice. He got a geode one, which I don't even know if that's going to show in that light. But I just licked the wrong brush. I've just painted my tongue. There's a clip for later.
This is one of my favourite things.
Yeah. So we did a smaller chunk, which there was 3 of. And they were a shell, they had a dwarf inside, and then like a grassy outer on the outside. My 2 kids have the others. The last one will go out to whoever when we do that giveaway on YouTube after the 1,000 subscribers. And it will be the only one I ever make in that style that goes out into the world. Completely unique. So there's your incentive. And just help a channel out. Thanks. So we've got the eye. Not that you can even see that. There it is. One tiny bird eye on this dinosaur.
Tiny wee dust.
And then I'm going to re-rim the base. And we're going to... I'm pretty much done. So, I think, Richard, if we next week do the Ankylosaur because we've got the mini, and then next week...
We don't need to. We can organise and...
Yeah. But it's on the same page for the 2024. We can do the Ankylosaurus episode 60, and then... From there, and I think during next week's stream when people have had enough time to think, and if they're watching on YouTube to comment, then we can decide what the future of this show is, really. Because I don't think we're going to come up with an answer today. So, but it just gives us time to, put it out into the world and to really kind of consider it.
Shit out.
Yeah, exactly that. I was going to my phone for a reason. That's it. I was going to double check the calendar because next week is the 6th. Just going to double check we are actually here. Yeah. I mean, I'm free to go for next week, so... Yeah. I certainly much preferred doing this chatting to people rather than doing the combat again. But I think I'm done.
Quite.
So, the Allosaurus... Do you reckon your tabletop ready?
Yeah, tabletop ready.
Nice. Yeah, me too. I like that you went with the darks and the purples.
I like that you went with the reds and the oranges.
Thank you very much. I will take that. It's yeah, very simple paint job, really. As for you guys in chat, oh, he's already clipped it. Look at that. I treasure the Commander Cody dice that I received. Well, that was specifically for you. And you weren't it. You're a good friend. As for chat, we're done. 45 minutes to paint a dinosaur. So it can be done, tabletop ready in an hour. So don't worry about painting. Just sling some paint, throw some dry brushing on there, have a laugh and enjoy it. Otherwise, we'll be back next week. Yeah, let's do the Ankylosaur next week and finish off the minis that you've sent out to me and do that. And then we'll decide what we're doing from there. Chat, thank you so much. It's always fun hanging out with you and getting to chat. I genuinely love you all. It's freaking awesome to be able to sit here and do this. Please check out Warrior Prince 3D. What can I say apart from their stuff is awesome. And if you can't find something, Rich will find it for you. He'll go out of his way to find it for you because that's who he is. Otherwise, thank you so much. Have yourselves a fantastic week, guys. May those dice gods be ever in your favour. Take it easy. I'm going to go